8:14 a.m., my phone lit up with a message that ended my childhood in one sentence. We changed all the locks on the front door and also the gate code. We no longer trust you. No argument. No explanation. Just eviction by text from the woman who once called me her greatest blessing. I stared at the screen until my hand stopped shaking, then typed back one word, noted. That was clever. But she forgot one thing. Before I tell you what happened that morning, tell me, where are you listening from? Because I need to know I'm not the only one who's been cut off by their own blood. I used to think love was measured by how much you gave, how many problems you solved before anyone even had to ask. In my family, that kind of love kept the lights on, the mortgage paid, and the silence perfectly intact. My name is Taylor Robinette. I'm 31, a financial manager in Chicago, and for 4 years, I've been paying nearly $5,000 a month for a house I didn't even live in. Every bill, every repair, every temporary favor had my name on it. Mom called it family teamwork. Dad called it doing the right thing. I called it survival. My mother, Elizabeth, could turn guilt into currency. Every sentence came wrapped in politeness, but tagged with a price. You know, honey, the roof still leaks. It's just hard watching your father try to fix it. Translation: send money. My sister, Lindsay 30 4 mastered helplessness like it was an Olympic sport. 2 kids, endless emergencies, and a tone that made refusal sound cruel. And my father, Robert 62, the peacemaker, who kept peace by keeping quiet. He never defended me, never stopped them. When I once found a strange credit inquiry under my name, he shrugged. System glitch, he said. I wanted to believe him. I told myself I was helping, that this was what good daughters did. At 27, I co-signed the mortgage knave enough to think love meant stepping in. Mom said family meant trust. So I paid the mortgage. I paid the property taxes, the insurance, the internet bill so Dad could watch sports. When Lindsay's car broke down, I covered the repairs for the kids' safety. When she overdrew her account, I wired the balance before she even asked. I even kept spreadsheets payments I labeled as temporary. That word made me feel safe. Until temporary stretched into forever, the house became theirs. The debt stayed mine. Still, I clung to the idea that effort could earn affection. Every time Mom said, "You're keeping this family afloat," I mistook it for love. Every time she praised Lindsay publicly for sacrifice, I swallowed the sting. It took me years to understand. In their world, trust didn't mean safety. It meant silence. And that morning, staring at her message, I finally understood what she'd really taught me. Family, in her language, wasn't about belonging. It was about who paid the bills. It all started with a Facebook post. I was sitting in my car, outside a grocery pickup when it appeared. My parents and Lindsay standing proudly on the front porch of the house I'd been paying for. The caption read, "So proud of our daughter for building a home we can all share." My mother held a little wooden sign that said, "Home Sweet Home, a gift from Lindsay." I reread the caption 5 times. My name never appeared. The comments poured in. "She's amazing. You raised such a strong daughter. Lindsay, you're the rock of the family." I sat perfectly still, hand on the wheel, afraid that if I moved, whatever illusion was keeping me upright would shatter. Between the emojis and praise, I realized they weren't just erasing me. They'd rewritten the story completely. 2 days later, the bank called. "Hi, Miss Robinette. Just confirming a request to update the primary contact on your mortgage to a Miss Lindsay Carson." My stomach dropped that same night. $2,400 disappeared from my account, a transfer to an old emergency card I once shared with Lindsay. I texted her, "Did you use my card again?" 10 minutes later, "Don't make it a thing, Tay. The kids needed shoes." Then Mom chimed in. Honey, Lindsay's going through a rough patch. Let's not start a war over a few dollars. A few dollars. It was never about money. It was about what it proved. Later, the family group chat lit up with a meme. A man handing over his wallet. Caption, big sponsor energy. My cousin tagged me. My father replied, keep the donor happy. I left the chat. They added me back with balloons. I left again. Then I blocked them all. The next weekend, I went to mow the lawn because why keep paying landscaper? Through the open kitchen window, I heard voices. Lindsay, did you see her face when Aunt Karen asked about the deed? My mother, it's almost done. Once the paperwork clears, there's nothing she can say. She put her name on the loan. Her problem now, Lindsay, she's always been a guest with a wallet. And then my mother delivered the final blow. She's not family anymore. She's just a sponsor. The water bottle slipped from my hand. I didn't pick it up. People think rage feels hot, but this wasn't heat. It was ice. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I sat at my desk and pulled out every bill, every receipt, every mortgage statement with my name on it. 4 years of help. Total $211,724. The number didn't scare me. It steadied me. At 11:46 p.m., I canceled every automatic transfer. The next payment was due on the 15th. Not this time. I texted my mother. Noted. That was clever. But you forgot one thing. Full stop. No emoji. Then I began my audit texts, emails, screenshots, the audio. I'd accidentally recorded through the window labeled Kitchen Truth. For the first time in months, I slept through the night. 3 days later, a gold-trimmed envelope slid under my door, an invitation to my mother's 60th birthday. At the bottom, in elegant cursive, a house is not a home without family. I laughed out loud. That week, I called my grandfather William, the only person who never asked me for anything. They called me a sponsor. I told him. He exhaled. Then it's time they learn what happens when a sponsor stops sponsoring. And he was right. I printed everything months, sorted like case files. My apartment looked like an evidence room. Silence would work first. They'd reach out eventually, but not to apologize. To panic. And when they did, I would remind them. The only thing more expensive than betrayal is proof. The night of the party, I arrived 10 minutes late. The banquet hall glowed gold and green. A slideshow played vacations, holidays, the house. My mother's voice echoed, built with love, kept with trust, and now passed down with pride. Trust. I walked toward the stage. Lindsay was smiling into the microphone. This home represents sacrifice and love. We all worked so hard to keep it. Worked. When the applause faded, I stepped forward and spoke into the mic. I wasn't planning to say anything. But since we're celebrating legacy, let's talk about what it actually cost. Heads turned. My mother stiffened. I held up a USB drive. Can someone play this? The screen lit up and my mother's voice filled the room. She's not family anymore. She's just a sponsor. Gasps. A glass dropped. Next slide. The family group chat. Big sponsor energy. Keep the donor happy. Then my spreadsheet appeared. Rows of payments. The total circled in red. $211,724. This, I said, is the cost of your legacy. My mother whispered, you're humiliating us. No, I said. I'm clarifying the math. My father snapped, you don't embarrass your mother on her birthday. Oh, like you embarrassed me when you used my credit score to take out a loan last year? I have that paperwork too. Lindsay rose, shaking. It was supposed to be family help. We all agreed. We, I said. I don't remember signing that agreement. I was too busy paying your bills. The room buzzed. Then a voice from the back said, enough. My grandfather, He walked forward, cane tapping against the floor. He looked at my mother. You raised a thief, at my father, and a coward. Then he turned to me. You were right to stand your ground. Last week, I changed the trust. Lindsay's name is gone. The property and the family accounts, they're yours now. Lindsay gasped. You can't do that. He didn't look at her. Legacy isn't a birthright. It's behavior repeated. And you've repeated nothing but greed. Silence swallowed the room. I lifted the microphone. You changed the locks, I said. But I changed the keys. I set the stack of invoices on the gift table and walked out. No one stopped me. Outside, the night was cool. For the first time in years, I didn't owe anyone anything. 72 hours later, a notification appeared. Incoming wire transfer, $211,724. No apology. Just numbers. I replied to their liar with one line. Transaction received. No further contact necessary. Later that week, I visited my grandfather. He sipped his tea on the porch. They paid, I said. He nodded. Guilt always pays late, but it pays. We sat quietly until he spoke again. Forgiveness requires accountability, Taylor. They haven't earned it. I know, I said. Peace doesn't need their permission. He smiled. Now you sound like someone who understands the cost of freedom. When I left, the sun was warm on the porch, painting everything gold. Peace doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly. Once the noise finally dies, they change the locks. It was the first thing they'd done for me in years. They changed the locks. I changed my life, and for once, the silence between us didn't ache. It felt clean. I used to think family was something you earned by giving enough. Now, I know real love doesn't invoice you, so if you've ever had to draw a line with people who share your blood, know this, you're not alone. Share your story below and hit subscribe. Because somewhere out there, another person is learning the same truth I did. Peace isn't given. It's earned.